Hey everybody, it's me Marquita. I was coming to make this video. Sorry that I haven't been making videos. I don't have a good editing program on my phone, so me putting them together is not that easy. So I did want to apologize to y'all that are still here. The reason for me making this video, and I had to stop watching it. I was watching TYT, and okay, there we go, autofocus. I was watching TYT, Young Turks, and they were saying how Trump embarrassed the embarrassed the country, United States, and that, of course he did his regular tweet, no collusion. Then he made a tweet saying how Rudy Giuliani was very brave on 9/11. And he had another tweet. But anyways, he went to the site of the Pennsylvania plane crash. And basically didn't say anything about the brave souls of the people that lost their life by overtaking the airplane. They knew they were going to die, but they overtook that airplane so it would not reach its destination, so that they can save more than just themselves. So they did that, and the one thing that got me is, like, I'm trying to fight tears because 9/11 is very serious to me. When it happened, I was 17. I still remember the day. I was in my group home. I remember I was in there. I probably was doing sociology or psychology. I was a senior, and so that was a required class, psychology and sociology, which there's 8 week classes. It's one class, but they break it up. Like, you do 8 weeks psychology, 8 weeks sociology, or whatever. They split it up. And so I don't remember what I was doing. Like, let me not lie, because I don't remember what subject I was doing. And if y'all know my story, I was in a group home. The group home that I went to was a satellite of a normal high school. So I never went to that high school, but I went to that high school. I never physically went, but on my grades, and when, like, if you looked up my grade, you had to go to West High School, because that's what I was, a satellite of that school. Anyways, that's not important. And so I still remember that day very, I remember we were just sitting in our classroom, and it was like me and maybe 4 or 5 other people that was in my classroom, and the classroom right beside us I was Barrett Hall downstairs. There's no, I think they changed this. It's now not upstairs, downstairs. But anyways, when I was there, Barrett Hall downstairs. And the room right beside us was independent living and pregnant girls. And the group home I went to was for pregnant girls. No, I was not pregnant. I went there because I was too old to go to a group home, and I was on too much medicine. Anyway, so I was in a level 2 group home because of my age and because I was on too much medicine. Like legal medicine, not drugs and alcohol. And so I remember Anna, this girl named Anna, she was pregnant about 6 or 7 months, and she was walking around the house. And like I said, like the school that we went to maybe had like 4 rooms, and then downstairs was like the middle school, which the building's connected, but it was like downstairs the middle school to the private school that was also on campus, and that was for kids that got kicked out of regular middle and in high school. And it was a uniform private alternative school. But Doris Walker Academy, if y'all know what that's at. Then I remember Anna was walking around the house, and I knew she was walking around the house, and she ran in to my classroom, and she was like, they crashed. And we were like, who crashed, Anna? Who crashed? And she's like, they crashed into the building. And, of course, we're all, like I said, it's like 5 of us in the classroom. And over in the independent living, it was maybe 8 people. And that's including pregnant girls and then independent living girls. And so we're freaking out. We're like, wait, what? Like, who crashed into a building? We're not understanding what she's talking about. And so my teacher, Miss Sims, that was her name, got up and, of course, just went in the next room. And, of course, we all got up because it was just 5 of us. We just went to the next room, and they were listening to the radio because that's how some of the girls, stay on focus. They got to listen to the radio. They had different rules anyhow. And we heard it, that the plane hit the first tower. And so we all are freaking out. Like independent living, pregnant girls. And then, of course I was Bear Hall downstairs. And so we're all freaking out, like, what's going on? So then that's when they get on their walkie-talkie. They call over to the next building, which was the building I lived in. And they asked, and they were like, okay, don't get the girls all worked up. Just bring them, bring them over. So they told the pregnant girls for the independent living, about time that they was like, okay, get your stuff. Your staff is going to meet us on the way to y'all's building. And like I said, I was in building D, so this was building E, where I went to school at. So we of course got, I grabbed my backpack and stuff, and about time we got to the door, which, like I said, they got over there real fast. About time we got to the door, my staff member for my building was already at the door. She was taking us Barrett Hall upstairs. Staff member was at the door taking their girls, because it was just for girls. And then so we were all walking out, and they had independent living and pregnant girls walking behind us. And about time we got to our building, before I went downstairs, Barrett Hall, not Barrett Hall, but independent living, the pregnant girls, because they were in the same building. They were in building B. They were in building B. And so about time we got to my building, the staff member was like already at building D getting their girls. And so we went downstairs, and about time we got downstairs, we cut on the news, and that's when the second plane hit. And we was watching, and like, of course, we were all getting anxious. They went over to Doris Walker Academy and got our girls that got to go to them schools. There was nobody that went to the actual real high school because they didn't want nobody to run or to do anything. That's a different story. And so they came and got us. We went down. We seen the second building hit. The second plane hit. And either we seen it, or like, cause I don't think I actually seen it, but I do remember it. I do remember it hitting the building. But I think I took my bag to my room, and about the time I came in is when everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, there was another one," and like, I was like right there, cause I really, thinking back, I don't think I actually seen the second one physically hit it, but I know I was there when it, like, I was, of course, we were in the TV room when it hit, but I think I took my bag onto my room and came back. But I say all that to say this. I thought I'd tell y'all my little story. That this is what 45 said, very, very disrespectfully, if I may add. And like I listened to it and I read it, and I was fighting tears, because that was a very big tragedy in our history. The comedian, and I'm rambling. The comedian, the guy on Saturday Night Live, the one that I'm so worried about, Pete Davis. He was 7 when it happened. His daddy was one of the firemen that died in 9/11. So, you know, he got to then like one of his comedy skits, and he's like, "Oh, well, that was the best day, because I got a PlayStation, and and I got this, and this." And I mean, if that's how he copes with it, who am I to tell him how to cope with it? Because that's his personal tragedy. And then Seth MacFarlane, he always has survivor regret on 9/11, because the comedian, the one that does, or I guess he's a producer, he does Family Guy and American Dad and stuff like it, the Cleveland Show. But he has survivor remorse, because he was supposed to have been on that airplane, the airplane that hit the first tower, the first building, I guess first tower. But what happened was he partied the night before and missed his flight. And so he feels like he should have been on that plane. He was supposed to have been on that plane. But because he had a hangover, or, he was drunk the night before, he woke up with a hangover, he missed his plane, and the plane crashed into a building. If I'm not mistaken, I think Robert De Niro also was supposed to be on that plane. It was another one. Like Robert De Niro or Michael Douglas is sticking out of my head. Don't quote me. But I say that to say this. I know I said that 3 times already. September the 11th, 2001. 45. I shall not say his name. I was going to, but he does not deserve to even have a name. He don't deserve to have a name. This is what this is what that son of a bitch said. Okay. I will stop in the middle of reading it to let you know why I'm mad. Well, it was an amazing phone call. I mean, 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan. And it was actually before the World Trade Center was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest. And now it is the tallest. "40 Wall Street" is Trump Towers. This man, he's not a man. This person had a nerve to call the radio station on September the 11th, 2001. I don't know Pacific time, but it was at night. And like I said, September the 11th, 2001, one plane hit it. Don't quote me the exact time. One was at like 8 and the other one was a little, it was like 8 and 9, but it wasn't like an hour apart. So they hit. The towers got hit. The towers fell. People lost their lives. Men, women, children. Because in the Twin Towers, there was a daycare center for people to be able to bring their kids and work. So it wasn't only men and women. It was children. Children at the daycare center. And this man, this thing, this person had a nerve to call a radio station hours, not days, not weeks, not years, but hours after we were attacked and people lost their lives. You call a radio station with no remorse of what happened earlier that day to say that my building was the tallest until they built them buildings. Now them buildings are knocked down. Them buildings are dust. Men, women, and children is in that rubble. People family members did not come home. They don't know if their family members got out. They don't know if their family members died. And you have a nerve to call and be like, my building is now the biggest. I cannot. I can't comprehend it. I cannot. I can't comprehend it. Because if I comprehend it and I make sense of it, then I feel like I'm as evil as he is. Like, I literally feel like that if I freaking make sense of it, my brain will bleed. Because only true evil will understand what he means. That's my opinion. Because if you are having a pissing contest after people got killed earlier that morning, and you're having a pissing contest now saying my winky is bigger than yours. Boom. I gotta go. Because I don't know what